History is often shaped not only by empires and technologies, but by individuals whose vision and foresight will permanently alter the course of entire regions. Few figures embody this truth more powerfully than Shaka Zulu. Rising from rejection and hardship, Shaka transformed a small clan in southern Africa into one of the most formidable military states of the 19th century. His leadership reshaped warfare, politics, and identity across the region, and his influence is still felt today. Shaka's story is not a simple tale of conquest or cruelty. It is a complex narrative of resilience, innovation, unity, and destruction, revealing how greatness and brutality can exist side by side in the making of history. A harsh beginning. Shaka was born around 1787 in what is now modern-day South Africa. His birth circumstances immediately placed him at the margins of society. He was the son of Sinzanga Hona, a minor chief of the Zulu clan, and Nandi, a woman from the neighboring Langeni people. Because Shaka was born outside of a formal marriage, he and his mother faced ridicule, rejection, and social exclusion. In traditional Nguni society, illegitimacy carried severe stigma. Shaka's early years were marked by displacement and humiliation, experiences that deeply shaped his character. Forced to move between communities and endure mockery from other children, he grew up hardened by adversity. Rather than breaking him, these experiences instilled an intense drive to prove himself and assert control over his destiny. Military training and early recognition. As a young man, Shaka entered the service of Dingiswayo, a powerful regional leader of the Mthethwa Confederation. This relationship would prove decisive. Under Dingiswayo's mentorship, Shaka received disciplined military training and was exposed to new ideas about leadership and organization. Unlike many warriors of his time, Shaka demonstrated exceptional physical endurance, tactical awareness, and discipline. He quickly gained a reputation as a formidable fighter and a natural leader. Dingiswayo recognized his potential and allowed him to rise through the ranks, providing him with opportunities to command and experiment with military methods. These formative years were critical. Shaka was not merely learning how to fight, he was learning how to build power. Becoming Chief of the Zulu. In 1816, following the death of his father Senzanga Kona, Shaka, backed by Dingiswayo, claimed leadership of the Zulu clan. At the time, the Zulu were a relatively small and politically insignificant group. Within a few years, that would change dramatically. Once in power, Shaka moved swiftly to consolidate authority. He eliminated rivals, reorganized the clan's social structure, and transformed its military into a permanent professional fighting force. Loyalty was enforced strictly, and discipline became absolute. Shaka believed survival depended on strength, unity, and innovation, and he ruled accordingly. Shaka's military innovations. Shaka's greatest legacy lies in how he revolutionized warfare in southern Africa. Traditional combat had relied heavily on throwing spears from a distance, followed by limited close engagement. Shaka rejected this approach. He introduced a short, heavy stabbing spear known as the Ikwa, designed for lethal hand-to-hand combat. Warriors were trained to close distance quickly, use large shields offensively, and fight with relentless aggression. This shift dramatically increased battlefield effectiveness. Equally transformative was Shaka's emphasis on discipline and conditioning. Soldiers were trained to march long distances barefoot, building endurance and unity. Age-based regiments lived together, trained together, and fought as cohesive units, creating an unmatched level of coordination. The Buffalo Horns Formation. One of Shaka's most enduring military innovations was the Buffalo Horns Formation, a sophisticated battlefield strategy that showcased his exceptional tactical mind. The formation was divided into three coordinated elements: the chest, which advanced directly to engage the enemy head-on; the horns, made up of fast and agile warriors who swept around both flanks to encircle opposing forces; and the loins, a reserve unit held back to reinforce success, exploit enemy weaknesses, or pursue those attempting to flee. Working together, these elements allowed Zulu armies to overpower larger opponents through speed, coordination, and psychological pressure, making the tactic a defining hallmark of Zulu warfare and a lasting contribution to military strategy well beyond southern Africa. The rise of the Zulu kingdom. Armed with a powerful military machine, Shaka embarked on a series of campaigns that rapidly expanded Zulu influence. Neighboring clans were defeated, absorbed, or forced to flee. Some were incorporated into the Zulu system, adopting its language, customs, and military organization. By the mid-1820s, the Zulu kingdom had become one of the dominant powers in southern Africa. Its reach extended across vast territories, and its reputation inspired fear and respect alike. However, this expansion came at a devastating cost. A region in turmoil. Shaka's wars contributed to a period of widespread upheaval known as the Mfecane, meaning the crushing. As armies clashed and communities fled, millions were displaced. Entire societies collapsed or migrated long distances to escape violence. The Mfecane reshaped the political and demographic landscape of southern Africa. New states emerged, old ones vanished, and competition for land and resources intensified. While historians debate the extent of Shaka's responsibility, there is no question that his campaigns were a major catalyst in this era of chaos. Ironically, this instability later eased European colonial expansion by weakening indigenous resistance and fragmenting power structures. Governance and social reform. Despite his fearsome reputation, Shaka was not solely a warrior king. Within the Zulu kingdom, he implemented significant administrative reforms. Power was centralized under the monarchy, and a structured system of governance emerged. Shaka relied on councils of senior leaders and elders to advise him on legal, military, and political matters. He promoted a shared Zulu identity, uniting diverse groups under common traditions, language, and loyalty to the state. This sense of unity helped transform the Zulu from a clan into a nation, one capable of collective action on an unprecedented scale. Paranoia and decline. As Shaka's power grew, so did his isolation. Following the death of his mother Nandi in 1827, his behavior became increasingly erratic. Mourning rituals grew extreme, executions multiplied, and suspicion replaced trust. His rule became harsher, alienating allies and fueling internal resentment. Members of his inner circle began to fear for their lives. In September 1828, Shaka was assassinated by his half-brothers Dingane and Langana in a palace coup. The man who had reshaped southern Africa was killed by those closest to him. Aftermath and legacy. Following Shaka's death, the Zulu kingdom entered a period of instability. Dingane's reign was marked by paranoia and brutality, eventually ending in his own violent downfall. Subsequent rulers struggled to maintain unity amid internal conflict and external threats. Yet Shaka's influence endured. His military system, social reforms, and national identity laid the foundation for later Zulu resistance against European colonial forces. Decades later, Zulu armies would still demonstrate the effectiveness of the structures he created. Remembering Shaka Zulu today. In modern South Africa, Shaka Zulu remains a powerful and contested symbol. He is remembered through monuments, museums, oral traditions, and cultural commemorations. In KwaZulu-Natal, his legacy is celebrated as part of Zulu heritage and identity. To some, Shaka represents strength, resilience, and African state-building. To others, he embodies the dangers of unchecked power. Both interpretations reflect the complexity of his life, a legacy that refuses to fade. Shaka Zulu was neither a simple hero nor a mere tyrant. He was a product of his time, shaped by hardship, driven by ambition, and willing to remake the world around him at any cost. His innovations changed warfare. His leadership forged a nation. His actions reshaped an entire region. By examining his life honestly, acknowledging both his brilliance and his brutality, we gain deeper insight into how history is made, and how one individual can leave an indelible mark on the fate of millions. Shaka Zulu's legacy is not just a chapter in African history. It is a reminder that power, when guided by vision, can build nations, and when left unchecked, can also destroy them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Africa's most powerful and complex figures, there are many more untold stories waiting for you here. If you want to be smarter every day, like and subscribe, and join us for more fascinating journeys through history.